Okay, when you subtract that, that's going to be 12.5. Okay, now remember step 2 of doing the trying to find if it's an outlier, right? That's step 1. Once we get this value, we're going to do something next. So step 2 is you're going to take that you're going to multiply it by 1.5. It's just a magic number, 1.5. So this is going to be 1.5 times 12.5, okay? And that value should be, I have to go back and calculate it. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure what that is off the top of my head. $18.75. Okay, so with that, that's equal to 18.75. And now this is how you test if something is an outlier. Watch. You go to your data, right? So the data should be like the picture. Now, go and plot the following. So this for me is step 3, okay? This is my step 3. Gonna plot Q1, plot Q3, okay? And check this out. Whatever Q1 and Q3 is, I need to write it down. So Q1 was 35, and this was 47.5, right? That was Q3. You take this number that it gives you, right? And what you do is you add it to this side, you subtract it from Q1. So watch how this works. If I take 47.5 and I add this number, 18.75, I should get 66.25, okay? Now what does that number represent? Watch. It represents that wherever 66.25 is, anything bigger than that number is an outlier, okay? So I'm gonna label it here as outlier. Now, do the same thing with this number, but you're going to subtract. Remember, the outlier could be something really, really, really big or something really small to your data. So it might be something way far to the left. I already took care of the right, so I need to do the other side. So let me take 35 and let me subtract 18.75 because I'm going this way now, okay? So that should give me 25, and this would be like 16. Guys, I hope I'm right. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. So this should be 16.75. And this is what I'm gonna do. Again, open circle, and I'm going this way. Anything less than 16.75 will be an outlier, okay? And remember, what was I testing to see if it was an outlier? I'm gonna make sure if you guys need to pause it, copy it, and then come back, okay? So if you need to pause. I was trying to figure out if the 150 is an outlier. So if 150, if it falls in here, if 150 is in this part, then it's an outlier. And the question is it? Yes, absolutely. 150 is way bigger than 66.25. Okay? So, yes, it is an outlier. Does that make sense? Now, is 66 an outlier? No. 66 is right here. It's almost an outlier, but it's not an outlier. So, this video, this should totally teach you how to calculate if something is an outlier. It also introduces to you, right, the concept of this interquartile range. You're gonna need to know interquartile range. That's always gonna come up. You're gonna need to know what an outlier is, okay? And that was what this video is for. I'm gonna make one more video to show you what I did about standard deviation, okay? So that's the next video.